This week, the Snart Marks podcast is brought to you by Nostalgia Buddy. In this age of streaming, where literally every scrap of celluloid ever filmed is at your fingertips, have you found yourself wanting to watch a classic show only to worry you will have no one to talk to about it? Well, no more! With Nostalgia Buddy, you need not burden friends and family with your new ancient show addiction. Grew up religious and want to watch The X-Files for the first time? Was David Lynch a little too weird when you were a kid and now you want to find out who Laurie Palmer's killer was from Twin Peaks? Dive in, and with our award-winning algorithm, we will match you up with a new buddy to dump all your theories and reactions on. For $49.99 a visit, we will send a verified Nostalgia Buddy to a local park, bar, or new craft brewery of your choosing to listen while you theorize what the smoke monster from Lost really was. Act now, and we will throw in our special media package as well for $9.99. Tweet, Facebook, hell, you could even live journal all your thoughts and feelings on a show many people watched decades ago, and our social media team will like and comment on your posts to make you feel connected and not like you're screaming aimlessly into the abyss. So get yourself a Nostalgia Buddy today, because nothing is as good as new friends and old TV.
The theme seems longer when we have to sit here and listen to it. Anyway, welcome to the Snart Marks, everybody. We are a very funny podcast out of the Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Follow us on YouTube. You know what I mean? Or subscribe, I guess. That's what you do on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Hit that bell, I guess. I don't know. But go to YouTube and watch our stuff.
Yeah. However it's done on YouTube. You know about YouTube. It's what
yeah,
all the
do
people,
whatever Mr. Beast tells you to do at the beginning of his episodes, but do it for us, you know?
Yeah, Mr. Beast has enough people. Look, if I were in a position, I'd give you a briefcase full of cash too. You know, make that happen for us, for you.
I'd love to make a Willy Wonka factory. You know, give me the give me the Skrilla.
Yeah.
And for those of you that listened to last week's episode, I know a couple of the audio tracks didn't play. I am currently in a screaming match with our provider to try to figure this out. We're doing good cop, bad cop situation, but it's just me, and it's just me being the bad cop. So we're trying to figure out how to fix these things.
It's a little bit my fault, too, because I worry. And so sometimes if something doesn't play, I don't tell you that I didn't hear it because... I don't want to be, I want to seem nice, but then if it doesn't play, then what are we doing, you know?
Listen, dude, I know you're nice, you know?
Sure.
If there's anything I know about Dusty, it's that he's nice.
Right. To a fault.
To a fault sometimes.
Yeah, I'll pretend to hear the song. Oh, yeah, no, rip it, dude.
Oh, yeah, so good.
Yeah. It's bitching.
Yeah, we're going to try, if there's parts that don't play today, I'm going to burn their building down. But I'm hoping they gave me some fixes. Hopefully the fixes work. If you watched last week and you were confused, I apologize. You know, I didn't make the program. You know, I ran a tight ship. I produced it well. And then kablooey, a couple of things didn't save. So I'm not going to name the program we use until it happens again. If it happens again, they're getting the wrath. You know, I finally stopped paying for Zoom. Might have to go back to Zoom.
Well, and you carry a lot of weight, carry a lot of water in that local radio market of yours. If the word gets out, it could be tough.
Yeah, they don't want an anti-endorsement. You know, I spit hot fire like Dylon, and they will not like that. So
yeah,
I like the Nostalgia Buddy thing. We should start like a online support group for people who start things too late. And like, hey guys, I want to watch The Sopranos. Who wants to start The Sopranos with me on January 13th? And then we will watch it on a schedule and come back and discuss what we've seen, you know?
Yeah, like you grew up religious as well, you know, like at the beginning of the year they start the read a Bible in a year challenge, where everybody's supposed to read. There's like a breakdown of how you could read the whole Bible in a year. The same thing, but for 8 seasons of The Sopranos, and then you just have a buddy to go on the walk with you.
100%.
Because one of the hardest things, like, that's legit something that happened to me. I really wanted to watch the X-Files, and then I realized, like, well, I'm not going to have anybody to talk to the X-Files about, so I'm just going to be sitting there watching episodes, and then I'll have to find somebody who's already seen it, and then I'll talk to them about it, but they've seen it, so it's not the same to them. Like, then it becomes a problem.
I just can't.
It's like 10 years ago.
I just can't imagine in 2024 just being like, hey, I want to watch the X-Files.
Right. This was, it was just on a whim. I was like, oh, maybe I should get into the X-Files. I saw it on one of the streaming services, and I never watched it as a kid. I hear it's good. And I was like, yeah, but it's like 10 seasons, and it's an hour long, and each season's like 22 episodes. And it's like, to what end, really, would I be doing that?
Yeah, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, this is coming from a guy who's watched 4 seasons of Survivor in a month.
I was going to say, would you find Nostalgia Buddy useful for Survivor, or do you just hold all that Survivor inside of you?
Part of the mystique of me, right, is that I don't care about other people's opinions. I don't care to hear them.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just kidding. I would probably. I don't know, man. I don't know. With Survivor, I don't know if I would, with the smoke monster thing's a whole different story, because I don't even think the people writing Lost knew what the smoke monster was, because that was a weird.
They've readily admitted that they did not.
Too much. I was talking to Kai about this the other day. Lost is the perfect example of you can have too many loose ends.
Yeah.
They couldn't finish that show.
I remember reading that the way the writers got around roadblocks for having to explain things was like, they would just be like, well, we'll just introduce a new thing.
Yeah. And that's what it seems like.
And I remember reading that and going like, well, that's going to be deeply unsatisfying at some point if you don't start wrapping some of this stuff up. You know? Well, cause the smoke monster, cool idea. But at some point, you got to tell me what the smoke monster is.
I still recommend watching Lost. Like, when people say, haven't seen Lost, that's why I was talking to Kai about it, because I was like, honestly, the ending sucked, but I'm glad I watched that show. There were so many good moments in it that it was, worth the garbage at the end, So, speaking of streaming services, I've been, as you know, I've always been the type, I don't look at my bank account to see if somebody's stolen my money. Somebody could have stolen my money months ago and I wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
But I started getting emails every day, Amazon. Hey, here's a confirmation of your purchase, Amazon, $3.99, $3.49, $3, whatever, every day. It was a little less than $4. And I was like, I should probably look into that, because I'm not doing anything on Amazon.
Right. As far as you recall, there's no Amazon purchases being made.
Yeah, especially for $4. So I'm like, what am I doing? And then, so I didn't for a little bit. I would get busy, get sidetracked, forget all that stuff. And then I was like, oh, I know what's going on. My dad is logged into my Amazon.
Right. And he's buying Firewalker he's renting it on Amazon.
Some airplane crash B movie that he's been watching or something. So I called him the other day, and I was like, because I got another one yesterday. That's what it was. And I was like, hey, have you been watching things on my Amazon? And he's like, yeah. That's all he said. And he's like, I got this new show. Now, those of you, I'm the only person who speaks my dad's language. My dad calls everything a show. If it's a movie, it's a show. If it's a show, it's a show.
Yeah.
But this time he said show, and I was like, Dad, are you buying every episode, as you watch it on my thing? And he was like, no, I got all the, what are they called? He's like, Mockingjay. So my dad is just running up my Amazon watching all the freaking Hunger Games movies. And then
That-
like an hour ago, he texted me again, and I'll verbatim. I'll tell you exactly what he said because it was cute the way he wrote it. He said, "I'm going to rent one more Last movie." That's what he texted me.
That is an incredible dad thing to do, and to get into the Hunger Games. Now he needs a nostalgia buddy,
Well, and that's just my dad, dude. Like my dad, like he's a super manly man for the most part. He watches like all these crappy, like we talked about, like Steven Seagal,
yeah,
Chuck Norris, crazy B movies that literally nobody's ever seen. He finds on YouTube and shit about, like, they're terrible.
yeah.
And then he just like out of nowhere gets into like Taylor Swift or Lenka or like these weird like female singers. And now apparently he's a big Hunger Games mark.
Yeah, he's a Katniss Everdeen fan.
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I can't say no. Like I can't. My dad can literally with impunity like buy things on my Amazon.
Keep renting Hunger Games more.
Yeah.
Well, wait till he finds out there's a new Hunger Games. He's going to be stoked about that.
I'm never going to tell him there's a new Hunger Games.
There's a prequel now to the Hunger Games. So and that movie, not too bad. Long. 2.5 hours long for new Hunger Games movie.
I saw the first one. I'm good.
Right.
I never saw the new Avatar. Never going to watch it.
You're out entirely.
No, it's 3 hours long. I think it's longer than 3 hours, right?
There's a lot of good water stuff.
I don't care about good water stuff. I can see it like a live stream of the ocean. Why do I got to watch something for a fake thing,
Yeah, and whales. Cool whale stuff.
I think I'm in now.
Yeah. I figured you would be. I know you're a big proponent of whale stuff.
Whale!
I like a whale stuff.
Non-wrestling fans have no idea what I just did.
I went the other day to the food court at the mall that is across the street from my work.
I thought you were at you're at an actual food court, like you were mad because the quarter pounder doesn't weigh a quarter pound.
Yeah, I've taken action. Yeah. Mayor McCheese has seen all of my letters. And now there's jurisprudence is necessary.
Dusty's in cahoots with the Hamburglar. He's been aiding and abetting for years.
Yeah, I've been obstructing justice, harboring a Hamburglar.
Oh man, I got to go to the food court. Presiding over this Panda Express.
Yeah. Well, the food court would be in a food court. It would have 100%.
To be it would.
In the center, yeah. Because then you could still get a burrito while you wait.
The judge has a Foot Locker bag sitting next to her.
Yeah, it's one of the people from Hot Dog on a Stick. And so they
still got the hat on.
Yeah, the judge's robes.
Welcome to the food court.
And I ate at Sbarro's Pizza.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never been.
Supposed to be New York style pizza. I've never been to New York. And look, it's a food court. I know what I'm in for.
Yeah, it's not New York. Yeah,
Yeah, it's big slices of pizza, I'll tell you that. But they do a thing at the Sbarro's that it boggles my mind, because from a marketing and just appeal standpoint, can't be good for their business. So they have all the pizzas on trays, and you can see which ones still have slices that are available, right? So I was like, okay, let me get a combo slice, and then let me try the Sicilian style one that has like ham and some other meat on it. And they just take your slice that is presumably cold, and they run it in front of you through like a reheating machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
hell yeah, dude.
And then it comes out the other side all floppy and warm now, and then they just put it in the box for you. And like, I don't want to see how the sausage gets made literally. I also don't want to see my pizza reanimated from its cold state to hot.
That's how they do in the Big Apple, dog. You know what I mean? They probably have rats running all over it in the back.
Right.
That'd be funny if they hold a rat by the tail and they just let it like touch it a few times when they hang it over it.
Yeah, that would give me the real New York experience. And then someone will throw trash at me from the side of the Sbarro.
Yeah, the wall outside, the whole thing smells like urine.
Yeah. And the lady could not comprehend. I got 2 slices of pizza, and they run a deal where they give you 2 slices of pizza and a drink for like $15. And the 2 slices are $15 if you get them by themselves. It's like $7.50 a slice, right? And she was like, well, do you want a drink? And I was like, no, because I'm not drinking soda. And she was like, but like the drink is free. And I was like, yeah, I got it. I don't want it. Just give me my 2 slices of pizza. And she was like, but if you get the drink, then it's like 30 cents cheaper. And I was like, I don't care. Just give me the 2 pieces of pizza. I'll pay more.
Can you put down that I got a drink and then not give me a drink?
Yeah, I caved. I'm weak. I was like, fine.
You got a drink?
Yes, because it didn't seem like she would let me leave. Did
you drink the drink?
I did drink the drink. If I'm gonna get the drink,
and it was a soda.
Yeah, because they don't have. What do they have? They don't have anything.
Just throw the cup away. It's a negative 30-cent cup. You know what I mean?
Can't do it, dog.
That was like at McDonald's when they would always tell me like, "Hey, it's cheaper to get 2 McMuffins," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't want 2 McMuffins, bro."
Yeah, I'll pay the extra cost for more McMuffins, or
so as to not waste a McMuffin, because, and this is the thing about McMuffins, everything smells like McMuffins. You have to eat those things fast, or like the whole office. It's like somebody microwaved fish. So like you got to get rid of them shits.
It's on you on like a molecular level, you know. But yeah, the lady, I like short circuited her brain. It's like 3 or 4 times I was like, no, I'm okay. I understand what you're saying. It is not a lack of understanding that makes me not want this drink. I don't want it. Just give me my 2 pieces of pizza and leave me alone. And I probably don't need 2 pieces of pizza. Probably would have been fine with 1 piece of pizza, but I wanted 2 pieces of pizza.
I think you should have presented the idea of just giving you a just write down that I took a drink. Do you want the drink? Yeah. Can I just like, can the next guy get a free drink on me? Like,
yeah, next time that might be what I do. Is like, just pay it forward. The next guy who comes who only gets 1 slice, who's not who can't get the 2 slice and a drink deal, give him my drink.
Or just be like, yeah, I'll take a drink, and then they put it was a self-serve fountain.
No, they do it behind the counter.
Oh, damn it! Because I was gonna say like they
real
put
New York experience.
They put the cup on the thing in front of you, like on the counter, and then you just don't pick it up. You just leave it there and walk away.
I just flip it and just leave. Yeah. Or next time she hands me the drink, I just throw it at the reheating machine.
Yeah.
And just like ruin their whole
crumple up your receipt, put it in the cup, and go, hey, can you throw this shit away from me?
Cripple the Sbarro by destroying their reheating machine.
How was the pizza?
It was good. It wasn't terrible. It just like, it looks so unappealing when it's being reheated. It's wild.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because whenever I see them on the tray, I don't think of them as being cold and in need of being reheated. And so then they take it and they just put it through the like torture device machine, and then it comes out hot. And I was like, it just, you know, everything's happening right in front of you. There's no.
That's the shit they put James Bond on.
Yeah.
Like, is that a real James Bond bit, or is it just The Simpsons? You know, where they have the laser that's like getting close to him and he flicks a quarter.
Yeah, that's from a real James Bond movie.
Okay.
Well, and it's the general, you know, the Austin Powers makes the same joke. You know, it's like in all of those movies, the villain has some high-minded idea of how to kill James Bond through torture, when it's like, you just shoot him in the head with a gun, and then he's dead, you know.
In The Simpsons, he flicks a quarter and divides the laser into two, and the two lasers hit the two things holding his hands down.
Yeah. Well, in one of the new, Sarah and I just watched like one of the newest James Bond movies, and it's like James Bond is hooked to this machine, and they're like drilling into his brain, and then he has a watch that explodes, and he's able to, behind his back, like set it to explode while they're drilling into his brain, and that's how he escapes. So like The Simpsons is not far off. It's a good lampoon.
Wait, he has a watch that explodes, right?
Yes.
And it explodes, and it's on him when it explodes.
He throws it like near him. His hands are behind his back. So it's like he kind of chucks it like in the general direction of the bad guy.
I think I've seen one James Bond movie.
For what sounds like a critique, I love them shits. They're like,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I can't help it. It's like, yes, so stupid, but it's just like fun. Oh, his car goes underwater completely because they made it secretly. Great, I don't care. Like it goes under one side of the water, comes up the other side. It's totally fine. Great. Give me the next one.
He's just driving on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, he's picking up carp as he goes. He drives into a whale. You know, I don't care. Give me more.
He drives into a whale. No, he drives down. He has James Bond has all the whales on his payroll, and so he goes down. The whale swallows his car whole, and then swims to the destination and releases his car where it goes.
Not unlike Jonah.
Not unlike Jonah.
Yeah, from the Bible. Jonah Bond. There you go.
Jonah Bond. That is I have a nephew named Jonah, but still, that is like 2024 James Bond is Jonah Bond, or like Caden Bond.
I just gave every mega church an idea for their Christmas play that's upcoming.
Oh, Jesus Christ. He has to figure out a way out of the whale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got.
And it turns out Jesus is the answer. You know, he's got all these contraptions that don't get him. Yeah.
He's got a ton of gadgets that fail. You know,
none of them work, and then he prays, and God lets him out of the whale.
Yeah, you're welcome. I won't take what is deserved. My cut. You know.
Did you watch the Golden Globes?
No, I checked in to see if Paul Giamatti won for Best Actor, as he should have for the movie The Holdovers, and he did, which I was very excited about because The Holdovers is my #1 movie of 2023. Very, very good. But other than that, I didn't really hear anything other than Barbie kind of got shut out.
Okay, so I know... So is there a difference between Best Actor and Best Male Actor? Because didn't Cillian win?
There's 2 categories. There's comedy and musical, and then there's drama, I think.
Oh.
So they don't have one Best Actor category like the Oscars.
I actually kind of like that because comedies like never got like Jim Carrey. What won who won Best Actor in like 95 for the 94 movies?
I believe.
Was it better than Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber?
I believe that was Tom Hanks for Forrest Gump won Best Actor at the Oscars.
Let me look, because 1994 was Dumb and Dumber. So 1995 Best Actor Oscar winner, Tom Hanks. So which one's better? What's a better performance?
Right. Well, in which movie? Well, maybe not. I was gonna say, which movie do you watch more often? But there are a lot of people that love Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, a lot of people. For most people, it would probably be Forrest Gump, especially because they replay it on TV all the time. But
right.
Well, people don't really watch TV anymore. But historically, you know, if you ask me, I love Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's a good movie, really good movie.
Yeah.
I watch Dumb and Dumber more than Forrest Gump. Dumb and Dumber is one of the greatest movies of all time, and I truly think that Jim Carrey's performance might be better than Tom Hanks. You know,
right? It's they're at least on par with one another.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
And I'm not shitting on Hanks. I love him. No. You know, I believe that he wasn't on Epstein Island, and if he was, I believe he was there just to have a convo, you know?
Have you seen that meme that's like the one guy on Epstein Island who was there on vacation, and it's the Tim Robinson guy going, "I didn't do shit."
I didn't do fucking shit, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really funny.
That's funny. That is funny.
But no, I did not watch the Golden Globes.
Well, as you know, I hate celebrity award shows.
Right.
I do not watch celebrity award shows. I couldn't imagine watching celebrity award shows, but Joe Coy.
I don't even know about this. I know Joe Coy said something that people are mad about, but I don't even know what he said.
He just bombed, man. He was
Really?
just not funny. Just big fucking nothings to all of his jokes. Like, he made like a weird boobies joke with Barbie, and like, he made, I think, like a character actor joke, like an inside joke that bombed, and then he like screamed at the crowd and was like, "Shut up! Like you guys thought all these were going to be good. I only had 10 days to get this ready," and then he threw his writers under the bus and like.
I was gonna say, do you think it's a situation where he had to collaborate with the Golden Globe writers, or do you think he wrote his own material and that material bombed?
They never write their own material, all of their own material.
Right.
I've never heard of somebody hosting an award show and writing all of their jokes, and that includes Chris Rock and like all of them.
Right.
You do something that big, you're going to have a team of writers. Nobody will do it without, because you have a career, you have a life, so you're not going to spend a year workshopping Golden Globes jokes at your
Right.
at the Comedy Store, you know. So
They
you have
probably
to have
write the monologue, right? I think I remember hearing
they
like
probably
Rock.
have help. They probably still have help writing the monologue, but yes,
I think I remember
mean,
hearing like Rock or somebody went to work out some of their like monologue jokes or whatever, because it's also hard because you don't know what's nominated for like a while, so like you have to cater the jokes to the movies generally.
Yeah, and it's just really like it's a hard gig, and Joe Coy was not the right choice. I'm not saying Joe Coy is not a good comic. I've enjoyed some of his stuff. I watched a special with Kai once. It was good. But he's a storytelling comic. He's an essence comic. He's not a punchline comic, and he's not like a fearless kind of like go after everybody comic. And he's one of those weird comics that's like makes $1 billion on the road, but isn't like that famous, right? Like, yeah, everybody, Dusty's internet went kaput. We figured it out. We're back. I went and shoved a slice of pizza down my gullet. Big ups to Papa John's. But yeah, so Joe Coy's just like, he was a weird decision. When I found out that he got the gig, I was happy for him.
Yeah.
Because he seems like a nice guy. I actually have a couple mutual, not really friends. Like, I know a couple people who like just know him. You know what I mean? They say he's cool. He's been nice to all the radio people that I know who've met him. So, but he's like not that type of comic. But do you want to hear one of the jokes?
And I would love to. While you let me know about that, he also he didn't have any help, because like there was a year where Tina Fey and Amy Poehler hosted together, and they're like a comedy sort of duo. And then Ricky Gervais did it forever, famously. And like he's the kind of person that's good at doing that sort of thing. And Joe Coy does. Yeah. I was also wondering like how famous is Joe Coy? Like really? It's a hard barometer. Like you said, he makes a ton of money touring, but like in the zeitgeist, how well known is Joe Coy as the host of the Golden Globes?
Yeah, it's weird. It was a weird choice. But I can't find the boobies joke. I wish I could, but I'll play one of and a lot of people are mad at him for sexism. Listen, man, we can make jokes about women, period. Like I understand the boobies line is a little sexist, is like a weird thing to say. But like we can make jokes about women just the same ways we make jokes about men. It's a very fine line, though. Every once in a while, you cross the line. You sexualize somebody. You diminish them because of their gender. I understand all those things, right?
Right.
But inherently, making a joke about a woman is not inherently sexist. You know what I mean? Like, there's one where he said something about like there's going to be basically the gist of the joke was that there's going to be fewer cutaways to Taylor Swift at the Golden Globes than there are at NFL games.
Uh-huh.
And people got mad at him for making a joke about a woman.
Interesting. Yeah.
It's like, okay, so are you not allowed to make jokes about anything but dudes now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, off my soapbox on that one. But let me get to here's the other joke. Oh, wait, hold on. I bet you can't hear it. Share tab audio. Okay. Beautiful Margot Robbie, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Killing it.
Yeah.
The key moment in Barbie is when she goes from perfect beauty to bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet. Or what casting directors call character actor. Some I wrote, some other people wrote. Robert De Niro's here. Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. You're kidding me, right? Slow down. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at. Look.
So, the interesting thing about that was I found out that he bombed from Kai. She texted me and was like, hey, did you hear Joe Coy bombed? And I told her about the writers thing. He probably had writers. But I specifically said, you won't see him go out shit on his writers. Because it sucks about like a lot of these things. Roseanne used to talk about this all the time, where she was really tough on her writers for the Roseanne show because they'd be like, no, this is funny. And she'd be like, well, then you go out and tell it, you know, because the comedian has to go out and own the joke that was written. Right. Yeah. So Joe Coy, I told her Joe Coy's not going to go out and blame all of his writers. And then I found this clip, and he did it literally in the show. Like, in his monologue, he blamed his writers.
Well, I wonder, like, it's got to be so hard to know that you're bombing with other people's material that you didn't write, maybe.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
And, like, all the things he said, maybe you're right. He did get the gig 10 days ago. The gig is hard. He's in this room full of people that, like, there's a fine line, because like the funny thing about all these shows is they want to seem like they're taking it easy, and they're all easygoing, and it's all funny, and well, whatever, you know. And then, but at the same time, a lot of people have put a lot of serious work into making these movies. Making a movie is hard, you know, and a lot of people get very self-serious about it, you know. But it reminds me of the White House Correspondents' Dinner Michelle Wolf got in trouble for, where she went in and just blasted everybody, and people got really mad. And it's like, oh, at a certain point, they want you to make jokes, but they don't want anything that's gonna be too much of something, or whatever the case may be, you know.
Especially if you're not like an established person, like a Chris Rock, or Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, or any of those guys, any of those comics and comedians who have the status to say those things, right? Because like Michelle Wolf, a lot of people were like, the girl from Daily Show, like, she's saying all this wild shit. And then with Joe Coy, they're like this Netflix comedian that not everybody is familiar with, and like,
I empathize with him to the point where he blames his writers and gets mad at the crowd. Because like that, you just can't, like, you can't do that. Nobody is on your side when you lose the high ground, when you're like, oh, the unfunny stuff is the stuff those other people wrote. And the stuff that I wrote is all gold.
That's the problem. It's like, there are a couple lines there that, and I can't really get too mad at him for it because he was on the fly. It was like the Kramer thing. At least he didn't say the N-word. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
he's digging himself out of a hole. He's trying to get back. And the, you know, I got the gig 10 days ago. What'd you expect? A perfect monologue. Shut up. I thought was funny. And then, but the, are you kidding me right now? That part that was a little like with the look on his face when he said it, was kind of like, ugh, dude. And then, I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at. That was a desperate, like, that was a bridge too far, you know?
Well, and like we were saying, like, that's not his room. Like, he's not in control of that room the way you would be if there was, like, if you were bombing and it was your show, you know, and you could take it out on the nightclub crowd that happened to be there, you know. That's different than the Golden Globes, you know, where it's the Barbie joke was Oppenheimer is based on a 721-page Pulitzer Prize winning book about the Manhattan Project, and Barbie is on a plastic doll with big boobs.
Yeah. And the way he said boobies was big boobies. That's how he said it
also, like,
I'll give him that one. I'll give him that one about it being sexist. Like I like I said earlier, like that one, I get why women are mad at that joke.
Well, and also it's just not a good joke. It's a lazy joke.
It's a really lazy joke.
It's an easy. That's like the lowest hanging fruit type of joke that you could make. Like there's nothing clever in it. I could see the setup to punchline of it, but it's just lazy. Like it's just not. It's a
total throwaway line that like. You don't tell the Golden Globe. So, like, you know, I feel bad for him, kind of. If he really did only get the gig 10 days before, which I think he did, that's really tough. I don't know why. Somebody must have backed out, or if they're planning their Golden Globes host 10 days out, they're making a big mistake, and I doubt that they're doing that. So something must have happened, and then maybe there is news. Maybe everybody knows what happened, but. If they're appointing a host 10 days out and he has to write all these jokes and get with his team of writers in 10 days and crank out a bunch of jokes.
Well, and it's not guys that he probably knows or brought in. Like I don't watch the Tonys, but I always, I guess, James Corden hosted the Tonys a few years, and he brought like Ian Carmel and some of his late night writer people with him to write on those shows, because those guys understand his sensibility and they understand the type of jokes that he likes and that he can perform well. And that's a better situation to like put somebody in, you know, like,
well, yeah. And a lot of times a guy like Joe Coy can be like, hey, these are my comic friends. We gotta get them. They get paid the same no matter what it is. Like, just as long as the friends are willing to do it. Like, I know a guy who writes for stuff like that, and he's generally grabbed by the comedian who's hosting or whatever.
Yeah. But in 10 days, I wonder if you're able to pull like a whole team to like guys together.
Yeah, 10 days is insane.
Yeah.
10 days is insane. So anyway, it's a big bombing by Joe Coy. Big bombing Oppenheimer. You know what I mean?
See, better joke. You should have helped, right?
Give me 10 days.
If he would have said, I'm bombing harder than Oppenheimer out here, instantly wins the crowd back. Like, you have
instantly.
Yeah.
So I guess there's no better time to transition to Cat Williams. Have you seen any of it?
I've swatched a good portion of, like, I don't know how long the interview is. I've seen
2 hours.
Yeah, I haven't watched I haven't watched the whole thing. I saw him go in on Kevin Hart. I saw him go in on Cedric the Entertainer. I saw him go in on Steve Harvey, and make some claims that are very similar to like when Chappelle was making the rounds after Chappelle's show fell apart and he was on Oprah. Like some kind of similar things to that. It was interesting, but also you could tell like Cat Williams is a worker, you know, he's kayfabing a certain amount of this stuff. But it was entertaining.
It was Trumpian, in my opinion. There
were parts of it that were very entertaining.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with you that it was entertaining, but I don't disagree with anything you said. There's only one person I've ever seen lie so much verifiably while telling everybody that he is the only person who ever tells the truth. Him and Donald Trump are the two people that I've seen do that so blatantly. So I'm not saying like all the show business stuff he was lying about. I believe him that Cedric the Entertainer stole a joke from him. I agree with him that Steve Harvey is not a very funny comic in a lot of ways. He came, though, that Kings of Comedy era of comedy and that corner of comedy comes from a lot of guys who are just entertainers who have a certain amount of charisma on stage but aren't joke writers.
Yeah,
it's very common. It's the stolen jokes are very prevalent. Street jokes are very prevalent. A lot of guys just ran on charisma and just wanted to be an entertainer in some way, and a stand-up was a vessel for that. So I'm and a lot of that stuff I don't know enough to dispute. I don't understand the Kevin Hart thing. I don't understand Kevin Hart being an industry plant. I can tell you, Kevin Hart came up in Boston with like Dane Cook and Pete Holmes and Bill Burr and Louis C.K. and just of killers. And all of them say, and Patrice at certain times, all of them say Kevin Hart and Dane Cook outworked everybody. Everybody else would finish their sets and go to the back room and drink and have fun and talk with other comics and stuff. And Dane and Kevin were at the front door shaking everybody's hand as they walked out and handing out CDs. And Dane was getting people to sign up for his MySpace. And Kevin was
email addresses for blasts, email blasts, and all that sort of stuff.
All that shit they made themselves. So like, I don't know the ins and outs of him saying that Kevin Hart's an industry plant. I know Kevin Hart, in terms of just blood, sweat, and tears, earned everything that he's got right now. The funny parts of it, 52-year-old Kevin Hart is 5'5", right?
Yeah.
He said he can run a 4.340 right now if they went out in the parking lot.
You
and
mean
then he
Cat
said,
Williams?
Cat Williams. Kevin Hart is 5'3" and 52 years old or whatever. No, Cat Williams said that he can run a 4.340 right now if they walked outside. And he goes even lower. I can go a 4.16 in shorts. Tyreek Hill. At the 2016 draft combine. If anybody listening here, Tyreek Hill might be the fastest NFL player of all time.
Yeah.
He ran a 4.29.
Yeah. And they call him the Cheetah.
Yeah.
That's his nickname.
And he's not 5'5".
Bo Jackson, they say, ran a 4.16. Like Bo Jackson, who might be the greatest athlete in history.
Yeah.
Like the thing that I love, and it's also the thing that we used to talk about before Donald Trump became the terrible person that he is now and the terrible thing that he represents, which is like the lies that he tells are so funny and like they're such good lies because they're almost verifiable, but then they're not. Like, you know, in his mind.
Oh, dude, and that's the thing, dude. I've been on record for hating the man for a long time. I've finally shed the bitterness enough to admit that the fucking guy's hilarious.
Like the delusion and the lies, they could almost be true, and that's why they're such good and funny lies. Whenever Cat Williams says he can run a 4.340, he knows Shannon.
A 4.16 in shorts.
Right, he knows Shannon Sharp's not going to be like, "Let's go outside." Like no one's ever.
Shannon Sharp did. He was like, "There's a parking lot right here. We can go do this." And Cat Williams, like, I think misunderstood what he was saying or like changed the subject or something. But like, Shannon should have been like, "Dude, no,
right?
No, you can't." I think Terrell Owens just recently ran like a 4.3 at 48 years old. Like, you're faster than T.O. Kevin Hart
is a super athlete.
Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then another one, like 3.5 minutes later, he said that between the ages of 8 and 12, he was reading 3,000 nonfiction books a year.
Again,
3,000.
right? Again, like if he said 100, 100's nothing. 100 means nothing. If you said between the ages of 8 and 12, I read 100 nonfiction books a year. That's a lie, but that's a lie that no one cares about, right?
Yeah.
If you say 3,000, like the number could be infinite. You might as well say I've read every nonfiction book.
That's just over 8 books a day. Every day.
Prove he didn't. That's why it's so good. It's prove he didn't do it.
Yeah, and it's just like there's that, and then there was like
Ric Flair wrestled in Atlanta and Puerto Rico the same day. He saw Bruiser Brody get killed. Prove it. Prove he wasn't there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like we get mad at these guys for lying, but like Cat Williams was lying and being like, by the way, also I'm the only person who ever tells the truth about anything.
Right.
And then there was another one. He said, he said Cedric the Entertainer. He's like, he's like, he's got so and so many specials. Why aren't none of them on Netflix and none of them are on Hulu? Because he was talking shit about saying Cedric's not funny. Cedric currently has a Netflix special on Netflix.
And like Cedric the Entertainer's not in charge of that. Like, unless he owns his own.
That's actually the point. What he's saying is Cedric the Entertainer, if he was funny,
he would be on
his shit would be available.
Sure.
And there was one more that was like, I can't remember what it was, but he just kept like all these things that he was saying. He would say, I'm the only one who tells the truth. And then he would say just the most outlandish lie in the world.
And yeah, he's a like, I don't know if he was ever an actual pimp, who knows, but like
he wasn't. He hung out with prostitutes, but he never was a pimp. He said
but he named his special The Pimp Chronicles.
I think It's Pimpin'.
Yeah, he's kayfabing. Like his whole persona is being this guy, and he's in the perfect position to do it. Like he's just famous enough where everyone knows who Cat Williams is, and there was a moment where Cat Williams was like really big, and then now
he's hilarious.
And he's very funny.
The thing, great comic.
Yeah, you can't deny is that he's very funny, but he can be a guy who's like, well, they hold me down because I tell the truth too much. They hold me down because I won't let them exploit me or like take advantage of me. Like I'll pass on a script and try to make it funnier, and then they won't want me, so they'll give it to somebody else and they'll dress that guy up in a dress, but I won't wear a dress. And it's like, well, sure, but those are all things that are possibly true. Like they're just real enough to where it could be true. But there's no way to verify if it's true or not, because all you have is the word of Cat Williams, who will tell you something that seems very true and then tell you he read 3,000 nonfiction books in a year. So
and he said that he got accepted to college at 7, and he was reading in different languages at that time already. And it was funny too, like the mental gymnastics, because I'm in a group text, and somebody in the group text, I don't know where the other day, was like, Andrew, what do you think about the Cat Williams stuff? And I started talking about all that stuff. Like it was peppered with bullshit. And there was one kind of defender who was like, he went hard on everybody, all this shit, like what they're saying. What everybody's saying right now is like, right. Cat Williams went unfiltered and went off on everybody, and the Illuminati's going to kill him and shit. And then I talked about all the lies, and then he was like, well, what he did do was sell out. He just sold a bunch of tickets. So he was like trying to judo it to like, oh yeah, what he was doing was being really smart. He was promoting his thing. And I said, yeah, but the whole time he kept saying that he had nothing to promote because he doesn't have to promote anything because he sells out everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
So no matter what he's doing, he's lying. Like he's being disingenuous this entire time. So like the whole world is like all up in arms about how Cat Williams went on Shannon Sharp's show. Shannon Sharp, by the way, terrible interviewer, barely speaks the language. I can't believe it. But everybody's talking about how he went on this show and like dropped truth bombs left and right. And it's like, if you tell me that at 52 years old, you can run, and 5'5", you can run a 4.16 40, everything else you say is in question.
Right. Right.
There's no reason for me to believe anything else that you say. If you think that I'm dumb enough to believe that, I'm not going to believe anything else you say.
Yeah, but again, it's nearly a perfect lie, because you can mental gymnastics your way out of having to prove that you can run it, and most people aren't gonna question you on it. Like, that's one of the big pet peeves I have now with these sort of things, is like, that's all good and fun for comedy's sake, and like, I don't care what Cat Williams, like, if he hates Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart and wants to drop proposed truth bombs on them, like, that's fine, who cares? But like,
and I believed a lot of that shit,
yeah, and like, but Shannon Sharpe as an interviewer has a responsibility to be like, hey man, like, that seems a little fishy. At the very least, you have to be like, I don't know if that's true, and no one wants that. That also runs into the big controversy of this week, which is the Pat McAfee show and Aaron Rodgers and all of that. And it's like, a guy can come on your show and just say whatever wild shit he wants, and you never have to fact check that guy or anything, and then it goes out, and then there's a huge blowback, and now you're like, well, we're not going to have the guy on anymore because everybody's mad that he called Dr. Fauci one of the biggest spreaders of COVID misinformation, and he's the quarterback for the goddamn Jets. Why? Who cares what Aaron Rodgers thinks about COVID? And
he said that Jimmy Kimmel was on Epstein's flight logs. It's like,
no, he said he didn't. Did you see his retort? The mental gymnastics of his retort. So he said last week, the reason everything blew up and he got in trouble and everybody was mad was, he said, the Epstein list is coming out and Jimmy Kimmel's nervous about it. And everybody was like, whoa, what's he saying? And this week he said, well, I said that because Jimmy Kimmel calls me an idiot all the time and all this stuff about COVID and the vaccines. And now we're getting reports of all these vaccine injuries and the vaccine wasn't safe. And now there is an Epstein list and they said there never was going to be one. So I'd be right twice. And Jimmy Kimmel doesn't want me, Aaron Rodgers, to be proving him wrong because I'm just a lowly quarterback or whatever. And I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. That's the and we'll get past this right after this. But it's funny that the people who cry fake news all the time just go after the worst information. Like the right. the list that keeps getting circulated on Twitter is just a completely made up list by somebody on the internet, and they always point at it like, see, stinking Jim Carrey went there a bunch of times, and it's like, he's on this list. Tom Hanks on this list, and it's like, that list has been known to be fake forever. And if CNN posted something that was as fake as this, you guys would be like, boycott CNN. They're always fake, lying, all this shit. Yeah.
It's not to dogpile it and to give it to move on, but it's like, it's the Joe Roganification of interviewing and news, where it's like, I don't know that I could blame Joe Rogan alone for this phenomenon, but it's like, you have somebody on who has some crazy stuff to say, and then you don't ever fact check that person, and you just sort of go along with it amicably, and now that person is empowered to say more of the things that are untrue, that are wildly untrue, because you're not equipped to be a person to fact check them. You shouldn't have to. You're just Joe Rogan, but you let the flat earth guy on your show for 3 hours and never challenged flat earth guy. And now flat earth guy has an episode. Like and
250,000 Instagram followers. It's wild. Move on to greener pastures. Sorry, Kat, you got something?
I do. I went to the movies, Andrew. I participated in the Hollywood Machine last weekend. I went and saw 3 movies. And I would like to challenge myself to give you 1 minute synopsis of each of these movies, mainly spoiler free. I'm going to try my best to be spoiler free. So
yeah, we need to, if we're going to do this segment,
yeah,
the segment needs to be safe for people who haven't seen the movie.
I'm going to do my best. If something accidentally plot related is revealed, it would not be on purpose, but I think I can do it.
See, so, that's scary. Okay. I'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear anything, you can just go forward about 10 minutes. But if Dusty crosses a line, I'll go ahead and edit it out of the podcast.
All right. Up first, I saw the new horror movie, Night Swim, which is currently sitting at a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes. Because January is a place where they dump a bunch of bad movies that they didn't think anybody would want to see because they need people to go to the movies in January. So this is just...
Is this like Monsters in the Pool movie?
This is Haunted Pool, which is in the trailer. So I'm not giving anything away. So let's see. Let me put up my time clock here. I'll get 1 minute to... So you've seen this movie. You know this movie. Family moves into a new place. A bunch of spooky stuff happens that would instantly make you move from the place where you're at. Like, immediately. The lights are flickering. There's like weird goo that comes out of the pool when they're cleaning it. The previous people never used the pool. But of course, like, you can't leave because then there's no movie. And so there's this slow trickle of information where it's like, oh, I don't know. This pool seems kind of creepy, but let's all just keep swimming in the pool. And each one of us has to have some sort of encounter in this pool to make us believe that the pool is creepy. And then at the end, they slap on some sort of explanation that doesn't make any sense as to why the pool is haunted pool. It was bad. And it wasn't even particularly fun. It was mostly bad, but it was an hour and a half. So what are you going to do? 1 minute.
Well, wasn't even particularly fun.
No, it wasn't like Megan, the movie about the killer girl robot. That at least had like some camp to it. It seemed like they knew what they were doing, Didn't
that one have good ratings?
Yeah, because they knew they knew the movie they were making, and so this was trying to be like a scary movie. But the premise is so stupid. It's like, just don't go in the pool. If the pool is haunted, the rest of the house is fine. Just don't go into the pool, and you should probably be fine. But no, the luxurious pool is too much for anyone to overcome in this movie. Like
the pool is all fucked up, and they're just like, I know the pool.
Outside.
There's something going on in the pool, but we have a pool. I bought the house for the pool.
Yeah, it's hot as fuck outside. Like,
is there? And this is one pseudo spoiler, but who cares on this one? Is there a scene where there's a couple in the pool getting frisky?
Surprisingly, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? In a bad horror movie, there's not that?
Well, it's a PG-13, so that might be.
Oh, it's PG-13.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Another reason that sucks. That it sucks.
Then I went and saw Wonka, which is currently sitting at 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I've been on the record. I do not care where Willy Wonka comes from. It does nothing. It does nothing for the mythos of the character for me to know, like, how he learned his chocolate recipes. Where does he mine the chocolate from? Did he have a distributor? What's the deal? Don't care. Couldn't care less. I will say, I was delighted by this movie.
Okay.
I had a very good time watching it. It's very well made. It's enchanting. It's weird because there's songs, so it's a musical in spirit, but the songs aren't like the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like, they don't go on forever. There's just like little snippets of the song. Timothy Chalamet, great. It was just charming. I enjoyed it far more than I thought that I would. So that one, thumbs up. 1 minute.
I need to watch that one.
I had a good time. I was, and I was watching it going, they're nailing it. Like, it's charming. It's fun. I still don't need to know where Willy Wonka comes from, but if I have to know, if they won't let me not know, then this is a better version of this than like Solo or any of those other sort of unnecessary prequel movies.
Yeah, I think as long as you could do anything with Wonka, as long as you keep the spirit and make it entertaining, right? So
yeah,
I'm happy Chalamet apparently did a good job. So that's what I keep hearing. So and I mean, little tiny Orange Hugh Grant, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
and he's in like 3 scenes. He's delightful, you know.
Yeah.
And then I watched.
Is Keegan-Michael Key in it?
Yes.
He is?
Yeah, he's the
fucking guy's in everything. I asked that because he's in everything.
You haven't seen the trailer? He's like the constable, who's like on the take from the other chocolatiers.
How many movies is this fucking guy gonna be in?
I'm sick
of it.
He's like a ringer. He's an industry plant, dude. Where'd he come from?
Industry plant.
All of a sudden, from nowhere, he's popping up. He's in 10 movies. And then I went and watched Ferrari, which currently is sitting at 73% on the tomato meter. This movie's directed by Michael Mann, who directed Heat and Manhunter, a bunch of other dope movies. I don't know anything about Enzo Ferrari other than he invented the Ferrari. I don't know that this movie helped me understand any more about Enzo Ferrari as a person. In some ways,
really,
I guess it did. It's a weirdly put together movie. I don't know if it doesn't know if it wants to be a race car movie or if it wants to be like a story about a man obsessed with perfection. So it's kind of trying to be both movies, but the racing scenes are really, really good when they're doing the Le Mans. It's really exhilarating, but I found it kind of to be boring overall. And I don't think that Enzo Ferrari is a boring person. I just wonder if there's an easy or good way to tell his biopic story, or if he's just a dude whose biopic isn't, or whose life isn't suited for a movie that's about his whole life, as opposed to just like racing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Minute 10. Sorry about that.
Out of 100, what would you give it?
I'm giving it like a C+. I didn't have a bad time. There's some really good stuff, but
so out of 100, the C+ would probably
79.
Be okay. Yeah, it's at 73 and 74 on Rotten Tomatoes, so about the consensus.
Yeah, I just wonder. It's so hard to I don't know if they had an angle weirdly to put a movie together in, you know, because Walk the Line is maybe my top shelf level of biopic, and it's the whole thing running through that movie is the loss of his brother when he was a kid. That informs the entire movie. You know, the wrong kid died.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the John Mulaney bit.
Oh, he could about Ray Charles.
Yeah, I could have done without the whole little brother dying thing. You know who could have else done without it? Ray Charles.
Yeah, but it's that whole movie has a through line about why Johnny Cash is the way he is, and the emotional stakes of that, and all of that I think really helped the movie. And I don't think Ferrari, I think it tried to do that, but it didn't have that in the same way to me.
I'm trying to think what my favorite biopic is. What other biopics are there that I've seen? Because Walk the Line's dope.
Yeah, Walk the Line's a good one. Ray, obviously, you know.
I didn't see Ray. Gandhi was a big one. Malcolm X was a big one. Never saw it. I need to watch Raging Bull, bro. I haven't seen Raging Bull.
Yeah, Raging Bull is very, very good. I forgot that's a biopic. Like, it doesn't seem, because I don't know very much about boxing, so I forget Jake LaMotta was a real dude. Ali is a not very good biopic. It's okay.
I've got a sleeper,
Okay.
and I think this does count. Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's about a real guy, you know.
It's a biography of Frank William Abagnale.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's a great
not
movie.
Abagnale, not Abagnale, Abagnale.
The
A
scene
Beautiful
where-
Mind.
Huh? Beautiful,
Beautiful Mind?
Yeah. The scene in Catch Me If You Can where he's convincing Tom Hanks that he's part of the FBI and they just missed Frank Abagnale is one of my favorite scenes. Where he's like,
I was thinking. Go ahead.
and he's like, he like looks out the window and he's got the typewriter that he uses and he's like running to the car to run away. Like, that's a really
Carl
good scene.
Hanratty. That's
Yeah.
Carl Hanratty. Lincoln.
Never saw Lincoln, so
I saw a lot of it. It was Lincoln. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Notorious. The B.I.G. the Biggie movie. Never
yeah,
saw
the
that.
Tupac movie and the Biggie movie. I didn't. Oh, Straight Outta Compton. It's a good biopic.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
You're just not gonna be able to recreate that. That's the problem with a lot of this shit. You know.
yeah.
You're not gonna be able to recreate like that's not Tupac, dog. Like,
Well, and a lot of these people had very interesting lives, but it's hard to make an interesting movie about a person, even if they had an interesting life. You know, like some of it doesn't translate to movies.
well, we talked about this on the podcast before. Just like, you know, what was better than the Live Aid scene of Bohemian Rhapsody?
Real Live Aid.
Live Aid.
Yeah.
Just show
Yeah.
me Live Aid. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to. Milk was a good one.
Milk was good. Yeah. I think they're better sometimes if they have a tragic sort of element to them, because then it makes sense as a movie. Like Selena is a great movie, but it has like, you know, obviously very sad ending.
I'm glad you brought that up. I think my favorite biopic might be the Buddy Holly story.
Right, because it has a very definitive end, and it sort of follows a movie structure, you know, where it's like,
And it was well acted. It was a very interesting. You're telling a story that I didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
Because it was in the 50s, and I think the day the music died was in like 59, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So like,
it's early.
this one's got this list I'm looking at has Remember the Titans as a biopic. I disagree, so I'm not listing that one. Yeah. Into the Wild, I heard, is really good.
Into the Wild is good, yeah. The other problem is the person's life is so big that it's really hard to make a movie about it. Like Napoleon or the Elvis movie. There's never been a good, like, I don't know if they've really tried, but like a fictional Beatles movie would be really hard to do unless you just
I've
did the
seen
Beatles till they break up. But like,
Go ahead, sorry.
there's so much stuff that it's so hard to focus, you know, on like one particular aspect of it.
Yeah, they made a John Lennon. I think it was like a BBC made biopic of John Lennon that was I did not like at all. So, but yeah, biopics are cool for the most. Like, I don't think they're that cool. Every once in a while, they make one that like I'm into, but like Walk the Line was cool.
Yeah.
I never saw Bohemian Rhapsody. Not gonna watch it. I never saw Elvis. Probably not gonna watch it. I'd like to see Napoleon. If it's about something that I wasn't alive for,
It's a lot easier for you.
especially if
Yeah.
it's something we don't have footage of, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the other problem with Ferrari is they made Ford versus Ferrari, which I know is from the side of Ford, but like that movie eats this movie's lunch. Like Ford versus Ferrari is a great movie.
Oh, dude, Bale knocked that shit out of
Yeah.
the park.
And
Like,
it's-
his character and Damon. They're
And it's
both
about
amazing in that
something
movie.
cool and interesting. Like race car driving is such a foreign concept to me that it's such a cool world to get a glimpse into. Like those dudes are maniacs, you know. And we're missing one. Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is a great biopic about a real, obviously a real guy. But
that is a biopic, and that is one of my favorites. I loved Oppenheimer.
but
I really
it has
did.
a cool thing that you can hang its hat on, which is the whole Manhattan Project, like the Trinity test and all of that shit is great for a movie. It's not just him walking around talking about physics for 3 hours.
Yeah, it really ended up. It was just so well acted. It was so well shot. The build up to the bomb going off is pretty incredible. I wanted to see that Gran Turismo movie that they put out. It looked pretty cool.
About the guy who actually became a race car driver off of Gran Turismo, the game.
Yeah, that one's got a 65% on critic score, but a 98% audience score. So.
I bet it's fun. I haven't seen it, but it's got
the trailer looked fun.
It's got Hopper from Stranger Things in it.
Yeah, David Harbour, is that his name?
Yes, David Harbour.
Anyway,
now before we move on, I'm so sorry. I spent time on it, so I want to put them in here. I wrote 3 haikus about the movies I saw.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yes.
Okay.
Night swim. A haunted ghost pool. Nothing but weird stuff. Black goo. You gotta move now. That's my haiku for Night Swim.
Okay.
My haiku for Wonka. Still unnecessary prequel, yet a charming chocolatier. Makes movie worth it. Haiku.
Wait. I'm questioning the first line.
Still unnecessary prequel.
It needs to be 5 syllables.
Yep. I used a generator.
Unnecessary.
So the generator told me it was 5.
Still unnecessary prequel.
This has unnecessary as having 3 syllables and prequel having 1 syllable.
It's wrong.
Look, I'm just telling you what I'm working with.
Unnecessary. How does this work?
It's unnes is 1, es is 2, cesare is 3. So
even you saying it,
I know, but
cesare.
Look,
yeah, we gotta do the claps, right?
Yeah.
Still unnecessary prequel.
Yeah.
That's 8, dog. That's 8. That's
Look,
8 as shit. Fuck that generator.
And then my haiku for Ferrari was weird accents abound, racing scenes exhilarating, other scenes sleepy. That's look.
Other scenes sleepy.
If that's not a proper review, I don't know what is.
It is a proper review. I
Yeah.
need you to do the claps on the haikus though, because even the second line of that last one's problematic too.
Yeah, exhilarating. They got 4 syllables. Racing's 2 syllables. Scenes is 1 syllable, according to this haiku generator.
Listen,
I'm just.
I know I'm not a computer.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the attempt, but let's clap them out next week. You know what I mean?
Along. Well, I'm not sure I trust the claps. That's the thing.
I trust the claps way more than that fucking generator. It's like Mississippi. That's 1.
Look, that haiku generator knew that the reviews were better if they gave me a little leeway. You know,
they're like, he's never gonna notice. It's not like his co-host is Andrew Idell, the biggest asshole stickler of all time, who's gonna bring it up.
If we grease the wheels a little bit, it makes a funnier haiku. Yeah.
I hope he's not. I hope he's not presenting these on a podcast co-hosted by a real curmudgeon.
Yeah, other scene sleepy. Doesn't matter how many syllables. That's a apt
Other
description.
scene sleepy was good.
Yeah.
Other scene sleepy 5.
Yeah.
We're good.
That's now I asked you before we went on the air to give me a number.
I did. Mickey Mantle, number 7.
Yes. A 7, so that I can consult the Monster Hunter's hand guide for the week. Figure out if we were dying this week or not, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're in trouble.
Is it your mama?
It is, in fact, the monster of lore, Yamama.
Kathy Godwin.
Yeah. No, this week we face off with a basilisk.
A basilisk.
Yeah.
A goddamn giant snake
is a type of certain serpent indigenous to the northern parts of Africa. I don't know why they know where it's from, but the earliest surviving account of the monster comes from the ancient Roman writer Pliny the Elder, who cataloged a number of fabulous beasts in his natural history. That must have been fun. You just make up animals that you say you saw, right?
You know how many people probably did that shit?
Oh,
if Cat Williams was an explorer,
yeah,
he'd be like, it's got giant horns, it's 50 feet tall, I beat its ass in 3 seconds flat.
Unlike other snakes, a basilisk moves in a curious upright fashion rather than slithering. So, and it is a potentially dangerous quarry for hunters like ourselves if we attack it at close range. So just don't do that.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Yeah. It has an aggressive toxicity and fatal gaze. Which are both going to be problems.
Fatal gaze? Like,
Yeah.
even if it looks at you?
Death-bringing stare, bro. That's
not anything. It's not anything compared to the fatal gaze you run into in San Francisco. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah. Is that are you submitting that joke for the Golden Globes next year for Joe Coy?
Did you hear what I said? It's way funnier than the other ones.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, it's not going to play. God damn it! I was going to play the Todd Show theme song.
Yeah. Now, this says that if I gave you 10,000 guesses, I don't think that you would be able to guess what the weakness of this creature is. Apparently, the odor of
giant mongoose.
Actually, it's the odor of a weasel will destroy.
It's a weasel?
Yes, will destroy the basilisk. Though the weasel may also die from exposure to the creature, so you need disposable weasels.
Every weasel's disposable if you live close enough to a weasel den.
Yeah, if it's if it's to get rid of a bunch of giant snakes that hop upright towards me, every weasel is catching these hands.
Listen, I know a donut shop in Albuquerque where you can get a box of 12 flesh-eating weasels.
But they don't have any bear claws.
Yeah, but they don't have any bear claws.
No.
Nobody. Do you think anybody got that joke? Well, if they listen to us, they might.
Yeah. That's this source suggests that a hunter could locate a basilisk hole marked, by the way, the ground around it has been poisoned, and throw a weasel into it. I can't be.
What sound does a weasel make?
Whoa! yeah. Almost the same as a person. If you threw, what? I really can't be afraid of any animal that the odor of a weasel is its ultimate downfall, like
what it's like talking shit to you, standing upright, squaring up to you like it normally does. It's like, wait, what is that smell?
Oh, gross, dude. Do you know
man. It turns around and right back into its hole.
It's having dinner with its family. It's a goddamn weasel. And the weasel's just, you can hear it coming because it's just going, whoa.
It's just sitting there reading at candlelight.
Yeah.
And it just hears, whoa. Just and a bunch of thuds.
Yeah.
And it knows it's getting smoked out.
It is kind of how you would kill a gopher. It's the same move, You
just chuck a bunch of weasels in its den.
Yeah, well, or you smoke it out. You pour water down the gopher hole, and it has to come up for air the other way.
Yeah, they tell you about the air thing. It usually just drowns.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's trying to come up for air.
My dad has he has this thing called a Rodinator, where
Oh yeah.
yeah, dude, it's like you pump a bunch of gas into the chamber, into the gopher hole, and it goes all throughout the gopher colony. And then the end of the Rodinator has like a spark plug, basically.
Jesus.
And it just goes, it just fucking, all of them, bro. That's crazy.
Dude, you think the guy who invented the Rodinator had been working on it forever, and he's like, someday somebody's gonna, and he's just like a pyromaniac that they finally were like, okay, man, here's where your skill set is actually necessary. We need like a Viet Cong style weapon for gophers. Can you smoke out the gophers?
The guy who invented the Rodinator was two things. First of all, he was like it's like Armageddon when the scientists can't figure something out.
Right.
So they have to go
it's easier to train the roughnecks to be astronauts than it is to train astronauts to be roughnecks for some reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you gotta figure out, you gotta find the guy. And so he's that guy where they go to him. He's probably played by Randy Quaid, but he also wears a trucker hat and always has a cigarette like hanging out of his lips.
Yeah.
With the ash really long. Like that's the dude who figured out the Rodinator.
Yeah. It is the actual Joe Dirt. Like the whatever Joe Dirt is based on, but the real guy.
They knew what they were making. They called it the Rodinator.
Oh,
you
know?
Well,
and they know exactly who they're appealing to. I once saw a gopher get mercilessly killed at my buddy's house.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like they did the water thing, but the gopher came out of the hole, and then out of nowhere, another dude with a shovel just came running up and just like he was Juan Carlos Stanton, just fucking obliterated this gopher. He literally
he literally picked the gopher up with a bat and he throws him up and hits
like it was scarring. There were children there. I'm sure that those children will never recover.
Oh, dude, I hate seeing shit like that. Like so my cat killed a mouse in my house the other day.
Did I
talk about this last week?
No.
There was a mouse in my house. Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
And the cat's not allowed outside.
Right.
So the rodent came from inside the house.
Yeah.
You know? I'm literally FaceTiming my niece, and I show the cat all the time when I'm FaceTiming my niece, and she goes, ah! She gets all excited.
Right.
She's 2. She's not.
She's 36, but
yeah. So actually, she's 1.5. But she. So I like point the camera at the cat, and the cat's like looking at me, and I notice on the ground there's like something dark on the ground, and I couldn't tell what it was on the FaceTime screen. So I like look around my phone, and there's just a mouse without a head, like on the ground.
Damn.
And
Hobbs is brutal, dude.
He's a savage, man. He really is. You should have seen the zoomies he had before I turned on the recording. I thought I was gonna have to quarantine him. This guy is nuts, bro. I was recording my radio show earlier. I had a perfect break. I can't remember what I was talking about. He was behind. I didn't know he was behind my computer tower I was almost done talking, and he jumps from behind the computer tower, kicks off the computer tower with both legs, and just crash. Everything falls. And so the end of the thing is I'm doing my great radio break, and I just hear and you hear me go, God damn it. Thankfully I wasn't live, but
for some reason that makes me think of, did you see the video footage of that guy who jumped over the judge's desk?
That's fucking horrible, but that shit was so funny.
Well, what makes it true,
she just kind of starts to go to the right a little bit when he jumps up.
What makes it really funny is the timing of that is like an SNL bit where he's like,
It really is.
where he's talking about how he deserves a second chance and he's been rehabilitated and he doesn't think he should go to jail, and he's very serene and he's very calm. And she's like, I don't buy it. You know, you got a lot of violent offenses on your record. I'm gonna go ahead and sentence you. And then the next thing you see is that dude just flying
Flying over the thing.
at her.
And he's like, bitch,
Yeah.
or something like that.
And like, again, like you said, not funny, horrible, but it looks like a sketch.
Also very funny.
It looks like a sketch in real life. It's the perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's perfect comedic writing.
And then there's the like effeminate security guard that's like slap punching him in the back
Yeah.
a bunch of times.
That dude's never had to really fight anybody. He's, you know, the bailiff life.
Dude,
And then
she's okay, right? The judge is okay, right?
Did you? I think so.
Because I should have looked, but I watched it like 15 times because I
Yeah.
thought it was really funny.
Did you see the thing where they brought him back to court to read his new charges, and he's in like the Hannibal Lecter shit? They've got him like in a mask, and he's like 100 feet away, and they've like got him in shackles. They're like, "Do you understand these charges?" And he's like, "Uh huh." Like,
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't move.
Yeah.
They wired my jaw shut.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of the guy getting tased and he's smoking a cigarette? He's like in a domestic dispute and he gets tased and he's just standing there. Big old dude. He gets tased and he just like, it doesn't look like it really affects him, even though the taser is in him. You
Yeah.
know, the string with the fucking.
Yeah.
And he takes the cigarette out of his mouth and he points at his wife and he goes, "I'm gonna get you, bitch!" And then he just lays down calmly on the ground.
That's the day that I quit if I'm a cop. I'm like, no, okay. If the
it's terrifying.
if the taser's not gonna work anymore, what do I got
Yeah.
left to do?
The taser doesn't work. I go to prison if I shoot him.
Right. It's like, look, and
they'll burn the city down if I shoot him.
if you tase a person and that person's reaction is to give an even more threatening promise to somebody, I think I quit that day. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, like clearly
Yeah, it's tough.
the taser worked, but that dude was on some stuff.
Or he's just a bad dude.
Yeah,
You know
or
what I mean?
he's
If you tase me, I ain't going down.
Yeah, or he's just hot.
tell you that
He's
right
just
now.
boss. You know,
He's just a bad motherfucker. You know. Well, real quick, I want to talk about one thing, and then we'll finish with the Song Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna have time for trivia tonight, but I got one quick thing before that.
Okay.
Unless there's something you really wanted to get to today.
No, all good.
Okay. Tomorrow, right? Today's Friday. It is tomorrow, but upon release of this podcast, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
The Chiefs and the Dolphins are going to be playing each other.
That is
Okay.
true. Yes.
In the playoffs at 5 p.m.
Playoffs.
Pacific time.
Yeah.
Playoffs. Have you heard about the weather for this game?
I just heard that it's going to be cold as shit.
So the forecast calls for 0 degrees currently,
Yeah.
with a wind chill of -20 to -30 degrees.
Ooh.
Yes. So I want to present to you
Yeah.
how much would it cost for you to buy, and there's parameters
Okay.
on this. You have to play a football game in -20 to -30 degrees.
Okay.
You can wear like sleeves. You can't be out there in a parka. You can't be out there in you have to be out there in what one of the colder NFL guys would be wearing.
Sure. I can wear NFL regulated stuff that they would wear in the cold, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You have to play running back
Okay.
because I'm guessing that's the hardest situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or a line person, I would bet.
Yeah, lineman sucks, but the reason I said running back is you're getting tackled.
Yeah.
The other caveat is this is not like you're playing against 6'6", 350-pound NFL guys. You're playing against bigger than you, but reasonable. Like you belong in this league.
Right. Okay. So like a rec league, but there's probably some athletes in it. You know,
Yeah, like you're at a decent high school football game, where these guys are you're still gonna get fucked up a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you are the running back. You have to take like a lot of the snaps because in these games they throw a
Right.
lot. But I mean they run a lot. They don't throw very much
Yeah.
because the quarterback can't feel his hands.
I'm a big part of the game plan, is what you're saying.
Big part of the game
Yeah.
plan. It is -30 wind chill. It's flurrying, a little bit of snow going.
Okay.
And you are allowed. You get the parka on the sideline. You get the heaters on the sideline. You get some hot cocoa on the sideline. Whatever they do.
Ooh, that's a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you like a
I
treat.
do
So
like a
how
treat.
much would somebody have to pay you to do that?
Well, here's some things that I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
One, if I'm the running back for our team is in some trouble in the first place. But fine. You know, I've got
Fantasyland.
I've got some
Fantasyland
elusiveness, you know.
Fantasyland in which you might do okay.
Right. I trip on the sidewalk. You understand?
Yeah, that is true.
Regularly.
That is
So I don't
true.
know.
It would be very funny to watch a video of Dusty as the running back.
2, football is a brutal and violent sport that probably no one should play, but that I'll continue to watch until such a time as they stop making it a thing that people play.
I took that into account too. That raised my price. Just the general risk of brain injury.
Yeah. Well, and you know, if I'm the running back, I can make a cut, blow my Achilles, non-contact injury. It's gonna suck. It's cold. The ground is hard. There are dudes landing on you. It's probably a huge bummer. Yesterday it was 33 degrees in Fresno, and I remarked to my wife, "It is cold as fuck outside." So negative degrees or 0 degrees with negative wind chill. I don't know that I got it, you know?
My sister in Idaho just sent me a picture of her thermometer because there's a cold front going through. It is -10 degrees there.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. I've been in -2 degrees. It hurts.
Yeah,
it does.
I'm saying if they're meeting whatever price, I want to be set. I'm going $5 million. I'd play the game for $5 million probably.
But you'd say no for $1 million.
I probably wouldn't say no. I'd try to get $5 million. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find your floor. You know what I mean? Because I think you're going to be surprised by my floor.
I'm not saying no for $100,000. I wish it was more, but $100,000 is a lot of money to a regular person.
So your starting ask is $5 million.
Yeah, but lowest I'd go. In all honesty, if they paid me like $10,000, I'd still probably do it. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. My number is like $6,000 or something like that. Like,
I have a remarkably low ceiling for what I can be bought for, because like the chances of someone giving me $10,000 is so low that nearly any opportunity is one that I'm going to take, as long as it's not like more morally objectionable to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like the other caveat: medical expenses covered, minus like long term, if you like, post concussion syndrome or some shit.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what
the
I mean?
10 G's
but
is like they could get me for 10. I'm trying to get that milli, but they could. Yeah, they could. If there's a third zero on that check, I'm probably doing it. Like,
yeah, to be honest, I'd probably say no to $1,000.
Yeah,
but like $2,000,
it starts to get real. Like, my brain starts to get real. Who do you think you are about turning down $2,000?
That's why I was like, when you said $5 million, I'm like, you're saying no to $1 million? Like, are you kidding me?
No, I just don't want it to. I don't want to sound as pathetic as I am, which is like $1,500 and some cocoa. I'll run out there for you if you want.
Yeah,
you know.
And that's why I was thinking of like, that's why I had to make it to where the size is a thing
Yeah.
because like I'm a skinny guy. I'm tallish, I'm like an inch taller than average.
Yeah.
But like I'm skinny, so I need to be like people who size wise I belong on the same field as.
Oh, yeah,
because if it's NFL players,
If it were the real NFL, I would be dead before the game was over. Chris Jones tackles me one time, I'm incapacitated for life.
and yeah, that's the thing though. So it might be like, so real NFL guys, you might go like 2 million. Because you're getting a lot of money, and you probably get injured pretty quickly. So, like, would you break your ankle for $2 million? I probably would break my ankle for $2 million.
Yeah.
I've sprained both of my ankles a million times. It sucks ass.
Yeah.
But I would break my ankle for $2 million.
Yeah.
Lose my leg or lose my ankle, I wouldn't do it for $2 million.
So, I guess in that instance, if a dude walked up to you with like a sledgehammer and was like, I'll pay all the medical, but you let me bash your ankle with this sledgehammer one time for $2 million.
Yeah, I'm saying yes. And this is like, you never know,
right?
But I'm pretty sure
it'd be real tough to say no.
Yeah, the one thing I would ask him is, can we do it like outside the hospital?
Right. I'd like immediate relief,
yeah,
if possible.
Yeah, from this. Like if you do it outside the hospital, I get morphine immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, but if you do it like, and then we'd start after negotiating like how far away from the hospital are we?
Yeah.
Like, can I have an ambulance sitting there ready for me if we are far away from the hospital? Any of that stuff, or he's like, no, you gotta like,
what hospital is it?
Yeah.
How good is this hospital?
Yeah. Okay, I'll let you do it outside the hospital. We're going to Tijuana.
Yeah, you're gonna get your ankle set by a guy who's had his medical license revoked, but he was a doctor.
We're gonna do it with a witch doctor in the Philippines.
Yeah.
If you want to be right outside the building. So I wanted that thought experiment.
It's remarkably low for, again, like I said, almost anything that I wouldn't find morally objectionable.
Yeah.
You know, like,
for sure.
If it's like you have to jump off of this thing or you have to do this activity and it's just like the end result of it is I just might get hurt real bad. Sure. I've been hurt a lot for no money. So, money is just a bonus.
I remember one time I was playing basketball in PE, and our PE teacher was a Mormon guy, Mr. Cruz. He was a cool guy. But I jumped up to get a rebound, and I landed on somebody's foot, and my ankle popped. Boom. Big sprain in my ankle. I hit the ground. I'm like, oh, God. Like, spraining your ankle really, really hurts. Yeah. And I just kept going, oh, fuck. Oh, God damn it. Like, just cussing us up a storm.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, he's like trying to comfort me. He's like, okay, we can stop the swearing. And I'm like, dude, like, that shouldn't be anybody's concern right now. Like, even in that situation, like, when does that stop? If there's a school shooting and I get shot in the leg, are you going to tell me not to swear in front of the other kids? Like, I'm in a lot of pain, dog.
Yeah, we've got it. What do they call that? We've got it bandaged. We've created a suture. If you could just stop with the potty mouth, that'd be great.
Yeah. I heard you say damn earlier, and
that's going to reflect poorly upon you on your performance review.
Yeah. So anyway, I like that conversation. I'm glad I brought that one up. So last week, we inducted 2 songs into the Hall of Fame.
We did.
We did Mississippi Queen.
Goddamn.
And we did Baby Come Back.
Also, goddamn.
Both of them.
Yep.
I did not, before this episode, think of a Hall of Fame inductee or a nominee.
Right.
But I have since come up with one because you said that you had one.
Okay.
Title logged me out, so I got to log back in. So this is the part of the show where we can't have technical difficulties. Dusty, if you don't hear the song, tell me immediately you don't hear the song. Everybody out there, if you don't hear the song after Dusty has said that he heard the song, blame the company that we use to record these things.
Yes.
Really helps me do social media really well. Sometimes takes a big old poopy when like a basilisk smelling a weasel when we try to screen record.
Yes.
So you went first last week.
That is true.
I believe I will lead this time unless you have an objection to that.
You are more than welcome.
Okay. I wish I could just like play the song instead of sharing my shit and playing the song. And I know a way to do that, but I would have had to prepare a little bit differently. I wish I could just only share audio
and not
video.
I mean?
Yeah, it'd be. It's like
well, I just won't look at the screen, and then
I don't need to. But then everybody else is gonna see it, you know. But we'll get it going. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Because the intro to this song, just says it all.
Okay.
Oh, that's not it. That's Baby Come Back. God damn it! Did you hear it though?
No, I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
No.
All right, I hate this. Okay, I hate it. I know why. To share audio, share a tab or screen instead. Oh. Okay, you're gonna hear it this time.
All right.
You're gonna hear it this time. Okay. I am not going to play the whole song as much as I want to. But there's no way you don't agree with me that that's a Hall of Fame song.
There's zero chance that I could deny 99 Problems by Jay-Z. Just the second verse where he's talking about getting pulled over by the police. Like that alone.
In my rear view mirror, it's the motherfucking law.
Yeah.
Well, the glove compartment is locked, so is the trunk in the back, and I know my rights, so you gonna need a warrant for that.
It's
oh man.
We'll see how smart you are when the canines come. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Yeah.
You just go straight into oh shit, I got problems.
It's just great. Like Jay-Z, for a lot of people, I think is the GOAT. I don't share the opinion that he's the best rapper of all time, but there's a lot.
Neither do I.
There's a lot of people that think his resume puts him in the top, and it certainly does. This might be my favorite Jay-Z song. Like the beat is so good, and you can tell the production and the lyrics are top shelf. Like this is him operating at the top of his power. You know,
this is true. Genuinely one of the greatest hip hop rap songs of all time.
Yeah.
If I made a rap Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? Like this one.
Yeah.
Who am I by Snoop Dogg, or was it What's My Name by Snoop Dogg? Yeah. What Tupac song would go on there for me? Not Hit 'Em Up. A lot of people would say Hit 'Em Up for some reason. That's for another thing. But there would be a Tupac song on there, and then an Eminem song probably.
Yeah.
You know? Freaking no, not one of the new ones. I don't know, the Worldwide Choppers by Tech Nine. Anyway,
yeah, there's a whole slew. We will have many a hip hop song, but you might as well. The jersey number's 99, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's up in the rafters.
Put it up in the rafters. I agree.
We looked up in the rafters; it was already there.
Yeah, it's been there the whole time.
God damn,
excellent choice.
Okay,
very very good. Now. I was of two minds. I had a song that I personally love that I know you also love that I'm not sure you would put in a Hall of Fame, but that you love.
Well, we need to know one of these days. You know what I mean? We need one that gets declined because it's got to be consensus, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame has to be a consensus.
But then I was thinking, and I was thinking about Mountain last week, and I was thinking about that riff. And so I had to think of the song that I believe may have the greatest riff in the history of rock music. In the history? Yes, the history of rock and roll music.
I got. Can I give like half a guess?
Yes.
This is either a Rage Against the Machine song or a Led Zeppelin song.
You are incorrect.
Wow. Okay. Sick. All right.
This might be the greatest minute of pop music ever recorded. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I am choosing the opening minute. I am choosing to nominate Voodoo Child Slight Return by the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Okay.
Look, Andrew's going to play it. I don't know how long he's going to play the beginning, but really think about if there's a better opening minute to any song that's ever existed. Undeniable. Like that song's so awesome. Hulk Hogan couldn't ruin Voodoo Child.
Hulk Hogan could ruin a lot of good songs too. That is true. That's a good point.
Couldn't do it. And then
that's a good point.
That song, if it stopped, like I don't know, the instrumental's like a minute and 6 seconds long or something. If just the opening instrumental was what the entire song was, still Hall of Fame worthy. And then Jimi Hendrix says some dope ass shit like I'm standing next to a mountain and I chop it down with the edge of my hand.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense at all. None of the lyrics in this song make any sense, but they're all the coolest thing you could have possibly said at that particular moment with that music playing in the background.
That is like, in terms of badassery, that's right there with I walked 37 miles of barbed wire.
Yeah.
I got a cobra snake for a necktie.
Yeah, it's I won't see you no more in this world. I'll meet you in the next one, and don't be late.
Don't be late.
Don't be late. Like,
you better die on time, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. It's an improvisational jam. They had worked it out. It was like just some riff that he had been working on, and they jammed it like 5 or 6 times in the studio when they were recording Electric Ladyland. Like, I love everything about it. I love the story. I love the fact that nobody makes songs that way anymore. And that because you can't. Hendrix took all of the great riffs.
Except for the Chili Peppers.
Except for the Chili Peppers. But like
they a lot of their songs are like jams like that. But let's walk back to the name of the album. Electric Ladyland. Yeah. God damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
he's so cool.
Yeah, he had some bad motherfuckers with him. Noel Redding and Mitch Mitchell. Yeah, like
motherfuckers got the same name twice.
2 names that are the one name. Yeah, I just like every time because I don't really go out of my way to listen to Voodoo Child a ton, but anytime that I hear it like in the wild or it's on commercials, like it's another testament to how great the song is commercials can't make it lame. Like it's been on, car commercials or whatever, and I'm like, guess what? I don't care about this Nissan Acura, but this song fucking slaps no matter what.
I think I'm gonna buy that fucking car.
Yeah, like I'm gonna listen to Voodoo Child in that car.
So you have now burned Jimi Hendrix. Just letting you know.
I burned Hendrix. If you agree, the Voodoo Child.
Oh yeah, Voodoo Child's in the rafters.
Yeah,
it's up there. But I can't really get mad. Like I would have. That might be the one. I mean, The Wind Cries Mary.
Hey Joe.
Hey Joe. Bold as Love.
Yeah. Little Wing.
Little Wing. Like the obvious one is Purple Haze, but that wouldn't be the one that I pick.
Red House is dope.
House is Made of Sand.
Yeah. The other one that I thought of that I was worried is Fire. Like that is a song that's shot out of a cannon.
Oh yeah.
Like
The Wind Cries Mary. Hell yeah. Dude.
Wind Cries Mary might be my favorite Hendrix song. But like, Voodoo Child is a dude. Like, it's the embodiment of dude in a leather jacket that is actually cool. Like, it's just
Yeah, Voodoo Child is the Hall of Fame one out of those two,
it's
for
just
sure.
so fucking cool. Like, there's no accoutrement you could attach to that song that would make it uncool. Like, imagine the lengths she would have to go to make Voodoo Child uncool.
Man, they should have had Disco Inferno walk out to it. But yeah, I mean, I think we got a couple bangers.
Yeah.
We nailed them.
We did.
Next week, I'm gonna try to like find one that's like you might say no.
I have one that's kind
try.
of on the fence. I think for you as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my pick that it was between the two, because that's the danger. That's the hard part about it being a Hall of Fame is I'm like, oh, here are slam dunk or songs that I think are slam dunk songs, but maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, there's one that I could think of by a band that I'm like, if that were the one that was elected, I wouldn't pick it because I like another song better. You know, so.
See, these are gonna. We could go all day with slam dunks that we both will vote in.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's fun too. This was fun. They were both slam dunks. Yeah. I'm stoked for when we told I'm stoked for whichever one of us gets denied first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm worried because I'm like we talked about at the beginning of the podcast. I'm so nice.
Yeah.
I'm worried to have a contentious discussion. You know.
Well, I think I think we're both gonna like feel bad.
Yeah.
Declining the other person's nomination, but God damn it, I'll do it if the right one pops up.
The integrity of the Hall of Fame of the Rafters demands. Not every song is a Hall of Fame worthy song.
We have to do it. And just to put a bow on things, did you know that Chuck Norris drinks water with chopsticks?
Well, with that, thank you to everybody who listened. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging with us through my bummy internet. Andrew dropped everything at the beginning, but also, find me on Twitter if you want some other opinions. Rarely do I tweet these days, but who knows, it might pick up. And then follow Andrew, he's a local celebrity. We appreciate everybody who listens, and come back again next week because the Snart Marks will be here when we're standing next to a mountain. We just admire its beauty from afar.
Yeah, I've got dainty edges of my hands.
Yeah, I couldn't play that riff, therefore I'm not eligible to chop a mountain down with the edge of my hand.
I'm trying to do something. Hold on. God damn it, it's not working. Never mind. What?